Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the whole seacoast from Maine to Florida. I want you to know this is your musician, music director at the Arts Repertory Theater in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Rochester, New Hampshire, and he works at Mass Brigham General Hospital. Now you listen. William married me under a false name. He was under many different names, and when they caught him in Brattleboro, he had 21 different identities in the door of his little truck. John Scarenza signed off on the case once William was apprehended. He was never brought to justice, and here he is today, married again, but to a guy this time. Illegal immigrant people, because William is under false pretenses still. He imported this guy. This male subject married William, so he's here illegally, and he works at the Rochester, New Hampshire Home Depot. Don't call me a liar, Dick Morrow. You better be speaking to me. Sorry, Sebastian, it really wasn't his birthday. His birthday is 11/26/69, and here's the proof of all. William is the organist at this church in Somersworth, New Hampshire, and he seemingly is the local musician for not only the theaters, but your politicians, like the Democrats.
Women he met, but he turned out to be a frog who had a habit of loving and leaving them with a lot of debt. Joel Lloyd tells us how the runaway Romeo finally got caught.
Can you give me some of the names you used? Well, there was Don Lowther, Mitchell Stevens, Jason Sims, David Asher.
So who is this man, and why so many names? It's all part of a mystery we first told you about last September, back on August 28th. Kimberly Nice married the man of her dreams, Donald Ray Lothar.
He just looked right into my eyes and sorry, God.
This in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, was shattered by Don's unexplained and sudden disappearance.
We left work in Lisbon, 20 minutes from our home, and never returned home again.
Then came more bad news. First, Kim's husband apparently scammed her by writing over $3,000 in bad checks from their joint account. Then she found the real Donald Ray Lothar in Booth, West Virginia.
I'm not married. I'm married.
When the real Donald Ray Lothar told Kim that he and her missing husband had roomed together and that his wallet had been stolen, the grim reality sank in.
My husband's an imposter. What do I do?
But as it turned out, Kim wasn't the only alleged victim. In the city of Morgantown, West Virginia, Kim's story made headlines. At first, Linda Thorman read in disbelief, but the photograph left no doubt in her mind that Kim's husband, Don, was her fiancé, Danny Mitchell Stevens. She and Stevens dated for a year, and just before the Memorial Day weekend, he vanished. Then allegedly wrote $14,000 in bad checks on their joint account.
It's amazing how one person can cause that much pain. I would like to know who I married, why he married me, and why he's done this stuff to me.
I'm sure that there has been a lot of pain at my expense, and I am truly sorry for that.
On Thanksgiving Day, police in Brattleboro, Vermont, arrested a 28-year-old on a routine traffic violation, and the man known as Donald Ray Lothar, Danny Mitchell Stevens, and Jason Sims became William Asher. And now this young man wanted the 3 states speaks exclusively with Inside Edition.
Every time I switched identities, it was kind of like a new beginning. Forgiveness, if you will. But I never set out to hurt any of these people.
I would just love to just knock that out of you. I represent often.
Some of these folks are pretty angry with you. What you say to them?
I was never set up to plow Linda down. Those weren't her signatures on the checks. The one thing I can say to Don is that I was desperate. When I met Kim, I had it all.
And even in the forged checks, etc., you figured that was your doing. It wasn't supposed to impact on them.
Right. I guess it was some selfish thinking. I did. I was thinking that it was my crime, that I would stand responsible for it.
But incredibly, as William Asher faced the music, his new wife, Kim Knights, stood cheerfully by his side.
I'm always going to love him.
Kim, I do love you very much. And I hope that that you can wait for me. Do you have any idea how much time you want to? I'm not sure. I'm scared to even begin to think about it.
So who is William Asher? He says he's been in trouble with the law since age 18, but authorities say he skipped town rather than go to a bail hearing. That's when he started changing identities. He turned out to be a frog who had a habit of loving and leaving them with a lot of debt.
Now you listen to the most recent, the conversation with a trooper from West Virginia. He knows damn well all about William Asher. So does Portsmouth Police Department, Stratford County Police Department, Homeland Security, Eric Millar, Steve Bork from Stratford County, who was running for sheriff and failed, Portsmouth Police Department, Rockingham County Sheriff's Department, the Commissioner for, the Attorney General, and so many more. So here we go. We're going to listen to the conversation that I recorded with West Virginia State Police.
Okay. I'll reach out to Sergeant Stallings and I'll let him know you called. And, I mean, I can't make him call you, but I will tell him.
Yeah, but you can let him know that he is shared with the news. All recordings are shared with the news, and I will publicize him. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, bye-bye. Hello, West Virginia Professional Standards. I am calling in regards to Morgantown, and I will be contacting you back in writing. In regards to William Asher, who had a fugitive from justice charge and felon warrant out for his arrest, and it just seems that it has subsequently slipped out of the computer system and off the radar. He is very well alive, 11/26/69. He was noted to be a con man and under false pretenses, as well as being under the identification of others named Donald Lowther Jr. and Danny Mitchell Stevens. So I would kindly suggest and request that you get to Sergeant Stallings and you ask him what's going on with this case and situation. I will be sharing this publicly on social media as it is recorded. Thank you.
I just have to give you a call back.
Well, what you can do for me is tell me why I didn't get a report back yesterday or a call back yesterday when the dispatcher told me somebody would contact me in regards to the fugitive warrant that was set out on William Asher, also known as Danny Mitchell Stevens, also known as Donald Lowther Jr., and it just seemed to slip off the radar and out of the system. And a repeat prior conversation, he was wanted for duping men and women, scamming people, living under false pretenses under those names of Donald Lowther Jr. and Danny Mitchell Stevens, using them, using myself, using Linda Thorman, claiming he was dead, and he is very well alive. So I requested to find out where's that warrant and why nobody ever did anything about it. I was going to get a call back is what I was told by the sergeant 2 weeks ago, and I never got that call back. I spoke with dispatch yesterday, who affirmed that she was working until midnight. He would get the message and that he'd be contacting me. I didn't get either a contact or a voicemail message. So with that being said, I'm calling again today and I want the information.
Okay. So yesterday, I sent those to the evening on the highway with the motor vehicle crash.
Okay, that's not my problem, okay? So I don't need that explanation. I want a status on what's going on with the missing warrant on William Asher, also known as Danny Mitchell Stevens, also known as Donald Lowther Jr. Okay, I'm a victim by this male subject, so don't give me an attitude, sir.
Yeah, I'll give you the same attitude you give me, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to let you know that you're still on audio record, and you're shared with the Attorney General and Trump Foundation, okay? So, with that being said, do you want to change your attitude? You can be fired, sir. You were hired, you can be fired. You're a servant. You're nothing but a patrolman servant. I know that might bust your ego to hear, but it's a fact. Now, with that being said, obviously you didn't work on the situation. You want to give me attitude about it. You want to victimize me. I'm letting you know you're being lawsuited. And so is West Virginia State Police for your actions. Okay? With that being said, I will contact your major, I will contact the Attorney General, and I will share this publicly on YouTube. House for Justice 2024. You will be reprimanded by citizens, residents, and the law. Okay? So fuck you. No, I don't want to hear anything else from you. Fuck you.
Good afternoon, West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morris's office. How may I help you?
Good afternoon. We have a situation that I'd like to discuss about a warrant for a fugitive that went missing out of the computer and off the radar. I've been talking with Morgantown for several months and a couple of years, and the information just gets hidden. The fugitive is still at large. He was never arrested. He's still alive. He claimed his death. He claimed my death and his daughter's death as well. I'm very much alive, and so is he. He's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, under another assumed identification. He exploited another subject from out of the country. So he's a con man. He's a scam artist. He was living under false pretenses. Other people
he seemed like a prince to the women he met, but he turned out to be a fraud who had
Inside Edition King World Productions out of New York sent me a copy of the video where I had been married to the fool and he abandoned me, pregnant. And then, like I said, claimed us to be dead. His family believes he's dead. He's made several kids, or before he met me, or he has kidnapped many children before he met me, and perhaps afterwards. Now, noting that I have reported this time and time again, some of the role players being police officers have already been arrested in the state of Vermont for having sex with some of the victims underage. All leads back to William Asher. And I want to know why I have on recording the sergeant from West Virginia, Morgantown, trying to explain to me with an attitude that he's been too busy to look into the situation. Well, I'm not too busy to exploit and follow up with my intent to lawsuit the state of West Virginia, state police, and everybody involved for what's happening.
Okay.
Being William's birthday, I'm asking the Attorney General's Office of West Virginia to take upon themselves and find that missing warrant for fugitive William Eugene Asher, date of birth 11/26/69.
Or maybe 11/27.
Analog has retired, so I can't get the case information that they say they never can find. Which the Attorney General would be housing that, correct?
No. We don't have anything to do with situations like this. We don't have any control over the police. We don't investigate things like this. We are the state's attorney. We represent the state.
Okay.
So the state had the
representing the
warrant. Okay.
The residents and citizens that are going to come forward about this thing, right? Because see, you have to represent the victim, correct?
No, we don't. No. We represent
Okay, so then would that give the right to the citizens and the residents to file a lawsuit against West Virginia for not representing their great interest?
No, we don't have any jurisdiction over that.
Well, they do.
Well, we'll see about this. We got to get some confirmation somewhere. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
She was wrong, by the way.
He tells us how the runaway Romeo finally got caught.
Can you give me some of the names you used? Well, there was Don Lowther, Mitchell Stevens, Jason Sims, David Asher.
And now I leave it up to you, all of you. Don't think that, somebody else has made the call, because everybody's passing it around like it's a hot potato. Make the phone call. Pick up your phone and contact Portsmouth Police Department in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Contact Rockingham County Sheriff's Department and the Commissioner for Rockingham County in New Hampshire. And contact William Asher himself. Contact the church in Somersworth and find out why he's still out here on the streets. Contact the FBI and Homeland Security, Eric Millar, out of Stratford County, Dover, New Hampshire. Find out why he recused himself from the case. Thank you all for listening.